few weeks ago, I tuned into one of the educational channels on TV and watched a show on archaeology. It was an interesting show dealing with the history of archaeological practices from the early Indiana Jones style to today's standard of documentation. I found a general similarity between the growth and development of archaeological excavation standards and those of Masonic research. The show pointed out that in the early days of archaeology, researchers would find an important site and just break their way in to take whatever was felt to be of value or importance. There was little regard for detailed documentation or preservation of the site. Today, great care is taken at excavation sites. It's realized that value and importance are not only with the items, but where they were located, what might be near them, and the general condition of everything having to do with the site. In the old days of Masonic research, importance was given to special events, but less care was given to verifying the events or knowing what was going on at the time of the events. Judgments were sometimes made, and details were far less important if what happened was not in agreement or felt to be important. Today it's realized that the whole story and understanding the whole story entails far more than isolated events. Technology being developed today is also of great importance to both archaeology and Masonic research. Ground-penetrating radar allows archaeologists to see below ground. When these devices are rolled over an area with buried ruins, the whole area becomes visible, and they know where they should begin their dig. In addition, satellites are being employed to help with archaeological excavation in overgrown forest areas, such as in South America. The satellites are able to filter the forest and discover sites that previously would have been discovered only by pure luck. Likewise, Masonic research has been greatly aided by advances in technology, where at one time, a Masonic researcher would need to travel hundreds or even thousands of miles to sit in a Masonic library to wade through large stacks of paper documents. Today, the computer and internet can put all the world's great libraries at his fingertips. From the researcher's home computer, databases of information and documents can be accessed to allow the Masonic researcher to locate, read, and copy documents physically located almost anywhere in the world. While technology allows researchers to locate items of value far more quickly than in the past times, the need to understand an item of interest and what it means remains vital. There seems to be a dangerous area between not knowing or caring and truly caring. It is that middle ground where important bits of history are correctly or more efficiently discovered, that they may not be given the proper care or analysis that's necessary. Finding an old Masonic diploma means little more than momentary interest if you know nothing of the individual or body from which the diploma was issued. The value of a find may be limited to a researcher's awareness. So, is the truth about the importance of an archaeological find depending on our opinion of it? It would seem that once something becomes easier to do, it opens the door for those with less awareness of actual value or importance to allow carelessness to destroy what is truly important. In its wisdom, Masonry realized early on that good, honest men could have very different views of religion, politics, or anything, even Freemasonry, and what is important about it to be remembered. It is the combination of the passion in which the religious or political view is held, along with the inability to conclusively prove such views, that result in such discussions being emotional powder kegs and not allowed in lodge. One simply does not prove the correctness of a religious view or political opinion in the same manner that they would prove a mathematical equation. But what about opinions Masons have of Masonry itself? Religion and politics are not the only subjects that can result in passion for a Mason. Masons have a passion for Freemasonry. Masons very often have a strong passion for Freemasonry. Want to see a good fight? Get two grand lecturers together who disagree on whether it should be on or upon. We are taught to subdue our passions, but truthfully, do we always? So, let's go back to the mid-1800s in New Orleans and keep these thoughts of passion and truth in our minds. In New Orleans, the city that care forgot, there were two groups of Masons facing off. They differed in language, Masonic customs, Masonic rites, and points of view. They were the York Rite Masons and the Scottish Rite Masons. They were emotional. They were passionate. The two sides in early New Orleans Masonry could not reach an agreement as to how Freemasonry should be practiced in the lodges under the Grand Lodge of Louisiana. Masons openly engaged each other in lodge or public settings with bitter attacks upon the character of their brothers. It was a war. It was a nasty war. But it was not discussions of religion or politics. It was about the very nature of Freemasonry itself. From a strictly historical standpoint, we know some of what took place back then and some of the why. But there is much that remains unknown and unclear about the events prior to these wars. We know only bits and pieces of pre-1850 Louisiana Freemasonry. So much history was deliberately destroyed. It was this destruction of history that's so important. But still, we have lessons and opportunities. The lessons should be obvious. We are taught to subdue our passions. We are taught to not speak evil of our brothers, either to their face or by private hidden character assassination. Is this impossible to do? We should try to help each other, not wage war on each other. It's okay if we have differences of opinion as to the nature of Freemasonry. We do not have to be exact copies of each other. If the goal is self-improvement, then someone's method of getting there should not concern us. We should advance the light of Masonry, not the darkness of ignorance, falsehood, and ambition. Our opportunities should also be obvious. Never before has technology been available to make the work of Masonic research easier and more possible for anyone with the desire. We have clear standards for collecting, documenting, and presenting our research. We know that we should not present ideas as facts, nor allow Masonic politics to color or sway our research or presentation. We have the chance to do meaningful, objective work that can benefit the Freemasonry of today as well as the future. During the mid-1800s in New Orleans, Masons were quick to point the finger of blame at the other guy for all the perceived wrongs in Masonry during that time. It was a time of anger, disapproval of the other Masons, and truthfully, ignorance. But were the wrongs with Masonry itself or with the individual Masons of the time? Was Masonry flawed on either side, or were some individual Masons flawed? If we look, we can see the opportunity to help Masons of today through a study of the unfortunate events of the past. We must put aside ego and realize that Masonry is better than us. Masonry is not improved because of our membership. We are improved because of our membership. We have an opportunity. We have the tools to do the real work of Masonic research, the work that must be done. We have the knowledge to know the nature of the real work of Masonic research. It's up to us to either do that work and earn our keep as Masons, or succumb to the three villains. What is truth? Well, it may depend on our level of real Masonic knowledge. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy the videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to us. Also, please pay a visit to the Cornerstone Book Publishers website for outstanding Masonic education. See you next time.